Welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you very much. This is the forecast for December of 2020 for the sign of Cancer. If you have Sun, Moon, or Rising in the sign of Cancer, or heavily placed planets, which would be 3 or more, in the sign of Cancer, you may want to watch this video. It is a broad spectrum reading, therefore it's going to be, intended for a lot of people. So some of it may fit and some of it may not. Take what you need and leave the rest. If things don't make sense or does not resonate with your situation, that's completely fine. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. You just might be working on something different than the other majority of the Cancers that may watch this video. If you do decide to make any personal decisions in your life after having watched this video, please know that those decisions are your responsibility. Please do not take my advice or any of my readings over any advice or instruction from any professional in their field, i.e. a lawyer, a doctor, a therapist. Always use your highest intelligence and intuition when making your decisions. Utilize these videos to enhance what you already know. All right, so let's get into this. This first card is the signifier for the month for the sign of Cancer. It gives us an idea of what we need to focus on, what's potentially out there, what the theme may be for the month. So let's see what that is. And we're using Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors deck because I thought that would be a nice way to end out the year. Because it pays homage to both, our angels and ancestors. And Cancer, what do you need to know? Oh, wow, only one card fell off the bottom, so I'm going to go with it. Get it, Earth Guardian. Stay rooted and grounded. So we have the Earth Guardian, which I feel like is a good thing for Cancer because Cancer is a water sign and complementary to Earth. So with this Earth Guardian, I feel like not only is it a complementary guide or guardian that is going to maybe take us through the month, he's asking us to stay rooted and grounded. The green color, not only does it make me think of the Earth, but it makes me think of healing, right? So if my Cancerians are feeling a little bit emotional this month, or they might, feel like a little bit hurt or whatever as they're coming into the month, this Earth Guardian, to me, his hand being on his heart chakra, his green cloak, the green light behind him, even the green on his third eye, make me think of this idea of sort of healing through staying grounded, staying rooted, dealing with whatever we need to face during the month. It's going to help and assist us to bring about, a better sense of self, a better feeling of contentment, also a better awareness or ability to sort of trust our own intuitions around things. That would be my attention's being pulled to that jewel on his third eye, if you could see it. That is kind of feeling like, to me, this is a month for the Cancers to get kind of centered in what they know to be true emotionally, psychically, and then taking that awareness and sort of channeling it towards the material world, right? That's the Earth aspect of this Earth Guardian. So it's like kind of what we feel and what we know to be true in our intuition, and kind of pairing that with our experience in the physical world and like healing that maybe. So if things have felt off for my Cancers, or out of whack maybe for some reason, or maybe we're not feeling seen, heard, or feeling like we're connecting to others in some way, at say maybe the heart level or intellectually, this is the month to kind of ground that out and get that recentered and back to a state of good, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. What does Cancer need to know? Hey Sue, how are you, dear? Hey Mary Lyman. Checking in on my friend's energy. Oh, good. Well, that's good. You're more than allowed to cross-watch. I appreciate it. All right, so. Okay, now the first card represents as your center, where you're centered at this month. So you'll go in and out of this card throughout the month, but it gives me insight into kind of where you're at for the majority of the month of December. It can also give me insight into what you could potentially be creating for the future. So let's see. All right, we've got the Strength card. This is associated with the sign of Leo. This is Major Arcana. We really like this. I like this with this stay rooted and grounded, in the sense that, to me, strength would be about rooting and grounding ourselves, standing true in what we know to be true. The green healing of this card and the psychic awareness and the heart-centeredness to this card speak to the idea of staying true to what we know to be deep within ourselves. Leo being the sign of fire and the spirit also speaks to that, the strength of Cancerian spirit coming through, staying grounded in that, utilizing those things. You know, his hand is over the heart, and the intuition, that bead on his third eye, speak to that idea of where those connections are and how we bring those through could be our strength this month, right? And so we might have to show some, how do I want to put this? Like we're going to have to hold strong to what we know to be true within ourselves and then sort of stand in that strength. That would be how I would associate this, especially with this rooted and groundedness of the Earth Guardian, right? The next card, and it's going to be significant too, it being the Strength card. It's like, this is not, you know, this is about really standing in our truth, so to speak. And that's going to also have a healing aspect to it, like a large impact on our well-being this month. So the next card is the Foundation card. This card tells me a bit about sort of why things are the way they are in today's reading. And it can also be this card, it's from the past, so it can be the memory of this card that sort of pushes things forward into the future or kind of holds all the cards in place. So let's see what that is. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is one of the most slowest moving energies of the deck. It does tie into this Earth Guardian, I feel like. It's staying rooted and grounded. To me, the Knight of Pentacles moves slowly, right? He has a plan. He's associated with the Earth. He kind of takes every step very, not cautiously, but methodically, right? So when we're talking about this in the past, I feel like maybe there's been some moments where we felt like things are moving very slowly. Things might even be going backwards in some ways. We're not necessarily getting the results that we want. We're not necessarily moving forward in a way or at a pace that we feel is either natural or productive. There could be some of that. To me, the Knight of Pentacles also has like a focus on stability, I feel like, about remaining sort of calm, methodical, taking steps to move ourselves there, but maybe not quite being able to move as easily as we would want, right? And so if there's been any sort of discord or feeling like we're struggling against maybe outside factors or trying to get ahead and can't quite get ahead, now's the time to maybe shift that. The only thing is that this Knight, he has a sort of heaviness to him. He has a sure step to him that I'm not sure if he's going to help us or hinder us this month. I want to see what the other cards are to know if he's going to be steady or if he's going to hold us back. That's the vibe that I'm getting, and I'm not quite sure. I kind of feel like he's holding us back, but we'll see what goes on with the rest of the cards. The next card is the Spirit or Soul card. It tells me what your higher self wants you to focus on during this month. So this is the Ace of Wands, also fire element, right? The element of the spirit. Aces represent sort of new beginnings, rebirth, excitement, new opportunities coming. This being in the spirit space of Cancer and it being a Wands card speaks to the idea that it's very much in line with the spirit. Let me see here. It's focused, it being also an ace being card number one, it's focused on the self, right? And so when I look at this being in the spirit space and it being the Ace of Wands, the number one representing the self and how it ties into this Earth Guardian, to me it feels like we need to make ourselves the priority, Cancer. We need to sort of put ourselves first is the vibe that I'm getting from this. The Strength card in the center, the Ace of Wands in the spirit space, which is very much a soul-centered or spirit-centered card. There's a magic there, there's an excitement, there's a ability to take action. There's also new opportunities there. If we make that our focus and we channel that, there's an opportunity here to sort of stand in our truth, I feel like, or stand and connect with who we are at a very higher level. And I think that's some of the green that we see in this Earth Guardian is that connecting ourselves back to our own selves and ultimately maybe our environment, right? Because that's also Earth Guardian. When we're talking about Earth Guardian, we're talking about like connecting with nature, guarding the earth, feeling that connection to the planet that supports us. So I kind of see this as not only that, but also connecting back to ourselves in a way. That could also be the sort of steadfastness of the Knight of Pentacles underneath all of this too, is that he brings us to this deeply rooted place of, okay, let's bring it back to us, right? So let me see what the outside influences are. The next two cards are the outside influences. These are things that could be affecting us either positively or negatively during the month of December. There can be sometimes people, sometimes events, or things more vague like belief systems or energies that we've adopted that don't belong to us, but we may think they're part of us. We just need to be aware of them. So what is the Five of Cups? So cups would be water sign energy for sure. The Five of Cups is always about like fretting over the stuff that we've lost and not seeing what we have, right? It's kind of this vibe of this woman is fretting over 3 cups that are spilled, but she doesn't see the 2 cups behind her, right? And so where I think this plays in with Cancer is has there been a pattern of events where we're kind of maybe struggling along, and that's also some of that Knight of Pentacles energy, like things moving slowly, being stuck in the mud, not necessarily always getting the results that we have maybe put in back out of situations, right? And so if that's happening to us, that would be these Five of Cups moments that are still continuing to come to us, that are challenging us to stand in the strength of what we know to be true, of what we know we deserve. And that Ace of Wands, that fiery passion, that excitement, that ignition within the self, are we being true to that, or are we letting other sort of what's the word, like less than optimum situations affect us emotionally so that we can't find that truth, that we get downtrodden, that we get affected, that we get dragged down, that we feel disillusioned by, right? There could be some of that this month. This Five of Cups is a warning to us. Not that bad things are going to happen, but don't sweat the small stuff is kind of the feeling that I'm getting with this card. Look to what it is that you do have, because you do have so much, right? That Strength card in the center speaks to this powerful strength. And that Ace of Wands in the spirit space couldn't be kind of a better spirit space card. It's like trying to ignite you and get you kind of into this place of grounding in who you are, what you're worth, what you deserve, all of that kind of energy. And then when you get into that state of positivity and in that state of being rooted and grounded in who you are and what you want, and you're healing that and feeling stronger in that, that's when the steadiness and the stability of that Knight of Pentacles really is a beautiful foundation, right? But I think that we've maybe been misinterpreting that foundation where things have been moving slower due to, say, maybe pandemics or whatever, all the craziness we're dealing in the world. We've probably been dealing with blockades or hurdles all the way up until now. Have we been just focusing on the hurdles and getting frustrated by them? Now is the time to kind of free ourselves from that. Look to the cups that we have, not the cups that we can't obtain right now. Does that make sense? The next card is the other outside influence. Beautiful. So this is the Magician. And the Magician, I believe, is Aquarian energy, if I remember correctly. He represents pure creation, really, in all of its forms. The opportunity to create, to get creative in a very big way. To me, it feels like a new door opening up, a new opportunity opening up. I like that we have the number 1 card of the major arcana coupled with that Ace of Wands up in the high spirit space, right? So we have 1 and we have 1. So these two very much feel energetically in line to one another. So, Earth Guardian. What's going on here for the Cancers, or what I feel like is going on, is that with this Ace of Wands in the spirit space, if we're listening to this ignition, if we're listening to this stronger desire deep within our soul that is saying, be true, stand in your strength, ground and root in what you know, and move forward in that, the opportunities start to come to us, right? Through this Magician energy. This is major arcana, no playing, creative force, magic happening sort of opportunities that could potentially show up for Cancer in the month of December. But are we going to take them, or are we going to be stuck in the emotions of the loss, of what's going on maybe in the outside world that reflects back to us? And because when I say that reflects back to us, because he's got this, if you see, he's got a mirror where he's reflecting that dragon off of him. It's funny that I said the situations that reflect back to us, the emotions that like make us sad or bring us down, like suck us down. And that's why I can't get a firm read on this Knight of Pentacles, because the Knight of Pentacles, to me, as the foundation, it's got that volatility where it can go both ways. Knight of Pentacles is not a volatile card, right? But I feel like there's this, depending on our perception, is really the feeling that I get from this. That Knight of Pentacles can be having us feel stuck, or it can be having us feel stable, right? He represents two different things. So I kind of get a feeling that in the past, there was an opportunity to maybe stabilize ourselves. We went forward for it, and it moved slower than we expected. Now, where that was in your life, whether it was around a romantic relationship, a job, finances, whatever, if you moved towards something and you found that you couldn't move as quick as you thought, or it didn't come as easily as you thought, that's okay. But it's that sort of belief or that memory that could potentially either stabilize you or make you feel as though you're stuck. If we're looking at the Magician and we're focusing on that this month and those opportunities of creation and possibility, because we're feeling that strength in the center, the fire of that Leo symbol in the center, and the Ace of Wands, fire in the high spirit, when we're channeling that enthusiasm, that excitement, and still grounding ourselves through the Knight of Pentacles energy, he stabilizes stuff, and we're able to kind of take in these experiences, these opportunities, these magical moments, so to speak, that help to move us forward in great ways. But if we're more in this Five of Cups energy, where we're focusing more on what is going on around us, where people are lacking, losing, having a hard time, or areas where we feel like we're not achieving what we want or getting what we want out of a situation, if we make that our focus, then that Knight of Pentacles automatically goes to this state of feeling stuck, like in quicksand, or moving towards like devolving rather than evolving. Does that make sense? And with this Ace of Wands in the spirit space and the Strength card in the center, it says hold on tight and really truly believe, like search for the high desire, the strong thing, and ground in that. And that is this Earth Guardian, right? That's this sort of idea of making the sort of this, bringing the spiritual, which is where our heart chakra and our, our sixth chakra, our intuition kind of come into play. That's where we see this hand on the heart and this third eye. When we embrace those and bring them into our sort of material experience, that would be kind of the marriage of the Magician and the Knight of Pentacles. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And then we're working with those two things in a positive way and moving forward. Yes, there may be spilled cups episodes, right, throughout the month, like that Five of Cups, but we're not letting them get to us. We're staying strong to them. We're reflecting them back off of us with that strength in the center. Remaining true to what we know to be true from our higher knowledge, our higher self, our higher awareness through that Ace of Wands in the spirit space, and grounding in that. All right, the next card is what I call the potential outcomes card. This card is not set in stone. It is a potential outcome for where things are naturally heading to, barring that nothing major changes. If this card is negative, we can use it as a warning to make choices and changes through free will to affect the outcome. So we can change it ultimately. But if it is a good card, something that we want to see happen, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally heading towards it as things stand, and just kind of let things progress the way that they are. Okay, so this is the Wheel of Fortune. I love it because it's like this indecision kind of feeling that I get from this this reading. I get this like, wow, we have all this capacity for the Magician, but yet are we going to focus on the negative? Come on, Cancer, get it together. And then the Wheel is like the major arcana card that to me kind of has that same vibe, yet on a very big scale. The Wheel of Fortune is major arcana. The payoffs could be huge here, guys. But it's like what we put into the wheel is what is going to come out of the wheel. So if we're putting Five of Cups, like focus into the wheel, then the outcome is going to be more of the same, like disappointment. And that's where that Knight of Pentacles stays stuck, right? But if we put our effort and our attention and our energy into the Magician and that Ace of Wands energy that's working around us, the wheel spins forward in a way that brings us more positivity, things that are more in line with us, opportunities that really, and that's what we want to ground in. That's what we want to stay rooted in, is that possibility. That's where that Knight of Pentacles actually becomes a stable, albeit slow moving, because the Wheel of Fortune also matches that Knight of Pentacles in its slow moving nature, right? It's not like we have a Chariot here. The Chariot would be much faster, which would be Cancerian energy, right? You guys would want to move at a much quicker pace to get where you want to go. But right now with that Knight of Pentacles as the sort of foundation for all of this, is where we're moving, we want to be aware and not careful, because I don't feel like there's any danger here. The only thing that I would see as a danger is that the Five of Cups could keep us captivated and caught up in emotional sort of loss that we don't need to really suffer. And the wheel is telling us by month's end, there's an opportunity here for like really good things to come maybe in 2021. But we have to get with the idea, stand strong in what we know to be true, ground in that, root in that, and go after what our soul truly desires. That's the Ace of Wands up in the top, right? It's that singular purpose. And then when we do that, when we choose that path, to me, that Knight of Pentacles really kicks in as actually a stabilizing force. He's actually a benefit, I think. He helps to bring down that Ace of Wands energy, because the Ace of Wands, right? Aces are very exciting, very fast moving energy and new opportunities. Wands also being fire, spirit, fast moving, high vibrational energy, right? And so when we look at that sitting up in our spirit position, high vibrational position, so we're talking about vibration on vibration on vibration. We ground it, we stay rooted and grounded in it through this real slow, methodical, earthbound energy in our foundation. So I see there's actually a plan here, right? That actually works for us for our betterment, but it can also work against us if we choose to get sucked into this Five of Cups energy of, oh, woe is me, or, oh yeah, that, you know, nobody can get ahead, there's a pandemic, it's awful, blah, blah, blah. No, stay strong against that and stay in the possibility of creation. Let the magician come in and start to produce new opportunities, creativity, potentially even like magic shit that you just didn't even think was possible. You got to let it start to come to fruition. It's not going to all come in a landslide, because the Wheel of Fortune speaks to that slow moving energy too. But it's like everything we focus on right now, everything we root in, everything we ground in, everything we accept as our truth is what will become more and more true and come back to us through the Wheel of Fortune in the year to come. So I think that there's an opportunity here for the Cancers to have a really beautiful experience, because the Wheel of Fortune is that. It's the Wheel of Fortune, but it kind of, and it also, like I said, it moves slowly too, so patience is key here too. And that helps with staying rooted and grounded. You know, it helps us to stay more patient, more centered, more focused from the heart, focused from our intuition, and letting that be our guide. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you guys. There's a lot of opportunity here, I feel like, especially even with the Strength card as the center. It's like, stay strong, stay true, you know your worth. And I think that you do. The Knight of Pentacles is a not a bad card, right? It's just sort of like, he moves so fucking slow. But I think that he actually is serving a purpose down there, because of the intensity of that Ace of Wands up in the higher self space, coupled with the Leo Strength energy too in the center. That there's a bit going on. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Hey, Melanie Ann, how are you? Oh, good. I'm glad it resonates, Sue. Thank you. Hey, New Moon in Cancer, how are you? This is your reading, dear. So this is the reading for Cancer. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have to go because I have to go do a class really quick, and then I'll be back on after the class to do Scorpio. That will be the last reading for this month for the Tarotscopes for this month. I will be doing another unboxing for the new deck that we'll be using for the yearlies and next year's monthlies, which is the Tarot of the Pagan Cats, which was a gift of mine from a viewer. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys are interested in a private reading, you can always contact me via the Facebook business page. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, go over and like the Facebook business page, and vice versa. If you're watching on Facebook, go over and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share this video out with any Cancers that you know that might need to see it, or with anybody that, any groups that might be able to utilize it. It helps me to get new viewers and to build the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you guys next month. I hope you guys have, you're welcome, Bobby, thank you. I hope you guys have a great month, and really, like, what I feel like with that Wheel of Fortune as the outcome is there's a lot of opportunity here. But it's about, like, if you guys get centered and grounded, boom, you're like a force to be reckoned with. Especially with that Ace of Wands and that Strength card in the center. There's opportunities way to be had. Even that Knight of Pentacles, he's a firm, solid foundation. So there's a really nice strength in there. Yeah, I'm sorry, Diane, I am leaving. I'm just signing off because I've got to go to a class, and then I'll be back on to do Scorpio later. And also there, thank you, Kate. There will be Charming at some point today too. I got to fit that in. So I'll go live for Charmings later today. If you're interested in buying a Charming, you can certainly reach out and do so. And I will see you guys later. All right, have a good day. Thank you all for tuning in, and please give the video a like and a share. It's my bulldog. He's snoring on the floor of the office. He's asleep and snoring. Sorry. All right, you guys, have a great day. Thank you for tuning in live, and I will see you guys soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.